What's going on, everybody? It's Josh, aka the Muslim Muscle, and cousin Creamy coming at you with a next up podcast. I don't know what the fuck that was, but that was weird. Don't start a podcast like that. Moving on. We have questions today. I'm not even letting Colin speak to start off. Let's go right into the damn questions. My first question was, where'd it go? God damn it. My first question was, do you find any benefit to a quote pre-workout, or is it just a caffeine addiction? I think this guy is just trying to find a reason to use pre-workout, and not say he has a caffeine addiction. Let's preface this: if you have 400 milligrams of caffeine a day or more, you probably do have a caffeine addiction. And it's not even an addiction; it's a reliance. So let's just clear that shit up right away. But no, there's definitely benefits to taking a pre-workout. It just depends on what it is and what's in it. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, I'm I'm not a huge stim pre-workout person, but I chase more just like pump ingredients. So you'll find me a lot, like especially in a prep, because I will use caffeine for fasted and then throughout the day. So I try to keep stim away from my workout. Just look for a good formula. I mean, there's so many brands nowadays, and everyone's trying to one up each other. So it's like if you still take a shitty formulated pre-workout, you just don't care or just don't know.
yeah, I see. I have a weird dichotomy with this one because obviously I'm sponsored by HD Muscle, but I'm also sponsored by Natural Body, so you can get whatever formula you want from Natural Body. Um, I'm gonna give my personal favorite pre-workout. Uh, and this is for upper body days, not for lower body days, because it changes for lower body days. Upper body day, 20 milligrams Cialis. Uh, I'm weighing it now. So 24 grams of Pump and Flow by VMI. Their glycerol liquid. Um, because I was just doing a cap, and then sooner or later I just weighed out what the cap was, and the cap was 24 grams. Uh, and then one full scoop of pre-HD Elite, the non-stim one. I think it's Elite. Will I be switching to the Pump HD? 100%. Just waiting for it to come in. But before that, it was hydraulic. I've always had a problem with hydraulic during prep where it just doesn't sit in my stomach well. Um, it just kind of makes me feel shitty. And then a gram of salt. If you've never had a gram of salt pre-workout, or you're like, ew, that's gross, you're an idiot. Try it. Um, and on leg days, it is half a scoop of pre-HD black, which is their like high stim pre. Um, and then one full scoop of pre-HD elite and still the 24 grams of glycerol and the 20 milligrams of Cialis. I am a big pump guy, but I have found that when I'm sitting there and I'm doing legs, I want a little kick in the fucking teeth. I want that. I want to turn around and feel a little stimmed out, a little cracked out going into, honestly, going into my calf raises. I want to feel cracked out. And the idea behind it is just like, I don't really want to get in and start on calf raises. Like, I want to get into the meat and potatoes of the workout. So it's like, hey, I'm a little stimmed out. I got to get these done. And then all of a sudden, it's go time. So, kind of motivates you to get started a little bit more than it does anything else.
Yeah.
Um, Colin and I are both big fans of energy drinks, so that's kind of why we both go the non-stim route.
Yeah. I mean, mine doesn't really change ever. It changes basically within the brand, but because I used to do hydraulic and I don't know, the flavor profile just couldn't do it for me anymore. The one that I've wanted to try for the longest and I never got it, I might still buy it because it's on TikTok Shop, honestly, is the Nick Walker edition of HT Muscle when they were with each other. That shit is a loaded pump formula. And then
So that's
right I
HD now.
okay. What I
It's
use
called Variant One or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, it's Pump HD now.
Yeah, because what I use now is the um what is it? super super pump, which is fucking fantastic, or Chris's juicy pumps is like the two that I go back and forth between.
Yeah, my only thing with Super Pump or whatever the fuck he calls it, is there's a random 80
Yeah,
calories in it.
I know, dude. I
That
trust me.
doesn't
I'm
make
like,
any
where the
sense.
fuck does this come from?
Yeah, so that sketches me out when I read the back of the label and it doesn't say where it comes from. Like anywhere. That's that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So, but it does look like a sick formula. I'm just not going to turn around and like if you're going to randomly add 80 calories to something, how many calories are actually in this thing?
Yeah.
So I just that's not my cup of tea. But yeah, I do think there's a huge benefit to it. I think that you can chase the pumpy style ingredients if you are trying to take a caffeinated pre. Making sure that there's like alpha GPC in there, some L-tyrosine in there, betaine anhydrous, citrulline malate, or citrulline in general. Depends on who you are. If you like citrulline malate or if you just want pure straight citrulline.
If you like citrulline malate over citrulline pure, then you're a freak.
The malic acid definitely has something to it, like vascularity wise. Um, Trying to think of what other ingredients might be helpful. Realistically, like you can keep it super basic. If you are I just want to have the bare bones pre-workout. Betaine anhydrous at 2.5 grams. Beta alanine at 3.2 grams. Excuse me. Caffeine at 200 milligrams. L-citrulline at 6 grams. If you want to do the citrulline malate, it's a 2-to-1 ratio. Then it's got to be like 8 grams to get to 6 or 4. Yeah, to get to 6, it's like 8 grams. Just go 9, just to be safe. Um, because my math could be very wrong there. 5 grams of creatine. Honestly, I like the idea of doing 20 grams of creatine because of the quote unquote cognitive benefits you can get out of it, but that's not exactly necessary. Um,
So I'll do 10 pre, 10 intro.
yeah, see, I think I do 20 like post workout just because you could uptake it more. And I don't really need the focus component at that point. I'm pretty dialed in.
Yeah.
But other than that, some hydration. Like if you're doing it bare bones and you're just getting like all the raw powders, I would probably splurge a little bit and get an electrolyte powder. And just add that into it because it's not going to be detrimental to your progress.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
that's pretty much it for that question. I think pre-workout wise, other than that, injectable pre-workouts, I do believe are a waste of fucking time. Um, Honestly, you could just inject backwater into those muscles and it's going to pretty much do the same thing. It's just bringing a neural connection to the muscle with some amino acids so that it doesn't hurt you. So just turn around, skip those, or just shoot insulin in there if you're feeling froggy. Yeah. All right,
All right.
Colin, your question.
Well, I got one question from Optimal Nathan. It was I don't remember it exactly, but it's on my phone. I can't really get to my phone, but it's essentially it was how did you grow your chest and your arms so drastically this last push phase, something like that. And you can kind of preface it in your own way for your legs.
I was gonna say let's just
Um,
change that to how to grow a weak body part.
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, the biggest change that I made is two things. I stopped training like a pussy, and I actually started training them. I would always say I train them, but it was really like the lack of a better term of a pump workout, if that. I never pushed it, and would treat those accessory movements, quote unquote, like bullshit. And when I stopped training accessory movements like a pussy, there was growth. So it's like, I get through my heavy presses, my incline and my flat presses, but then my pec deck, you know, maybe I wasn't pushing all the way. Cable fly, same thing, chasing a pump, not really chasing for overall stimulus, just for the sake of, possibly taking a picture, taking post workout pump shots, whatever it was. It wasn't pushing myself as far as I really needed to. But also it was also the variety of exercises that I'm doing now compared to before. Again, you have your compounds, your incline, your flat, but then I've incorporated weighted dips, dips in general, whether it's, you're strapping the weighted belt on or the plate loaded belt on and doing like actual dips. You can do like weighted dips on like the hammer strength machine where you're kind of hooked in and doing like tricep. They're essentially tricep push downs. Um, a lot of overhead movements, cable movements, single arm, unilateral, bilateral movements, but it's again pushing weight for a reason, not just moving weight from A to B for no reason. And that was the biggest thing is like actually getting into like the nitty gritty of it, of the boring shit more so, if you want to call it that. Because I really don't like training arms, as can be seen. I have green beans for arms. But they are growing. But that's because it's just, I'm actually pushing myself in these sets and forcing myself to really focus on overall growth. Because the one thing I got back from the show is that, your arms are fucking small. So it's inevitable, push yourself or don't grow. But I think honestly, it's the matter of just frequency as well. Frequency has definitely been upticked a lot. I mean, I'm doing triceps I'm probably doing arms in total at least 3 times a week, possibly four, depending on where my split falls. But again, on my push days, sure, but like even on leg days, I'm touching my triceps, I'm touching biceps, um, even shoulders for like more so laterals. But again, it's stuff that I can do because it's not a big muscle group that I can recover quick. In which that if I feel like I can hit them, hit them. What's an extra 4 sets? Again, people can say, "Oh, you're just building up fatigue," but my arms have grown more in the last 6 months than they have in the last 6 years. So, I mean, all things considered, it's working. And I think that's the biggest thing is that I'm able to take what my I'm able to listen to my body in which that I can instill as much frequency as needed, and I'm not gonna hyperanalyze. Oh, it's this many sets, but I can't recover, and I only did it yesterday. But optimally, it's just if I feel good and I feel fine, I just do it. I just hit it and I move on my life, and it works. And that's the biggest thing. Biggest thing that changed for me, honestly, is frequency and training intensity to the smaller muscle groups. And that's honestly what's shown the most for me.
All right, I'm going to take this from a completely different perspective. Um, Turning around and trying to grow a weak muscle group or a weak body part. First and foremost, make sure that you can adequately recover from it. So if you have, this is something I'm kind of trialing out right now. I tweaked the bicep tendon. Um, and my biceps are a strong body part, so I'm just pulling a lot of volume off them. But I'm not trying to now change my entire program around and just say that I'm just taking volume off. So I've now put triceps in instead on leg days. I then train push the next day. So now I'm taking out some of the sets of triceps there. But realistically, frequency is key. Hitting whatever muscle group it is more often than you hit the stronger body parts. So if you're, perfect example for you, legs. Actually, I want to use somebody who's not in this conversation, Johnny Kim. So if Johnny Kim is sitting there and he is trying to grow his back or his arms or his chest, he has great legs. So Johnny does not need to train legs quite as often. He could take the volume from there to be able to recover better from the chest, or we'll say back, just because I know that's something he's been working on. So he can
Yeah.
train back twice a week. He could train chest and delts once a week, and then he could train arms the other day. That's a 4-day split. Then the next week he could train 5 times and just add in a leg day. The systemic fatigue from the better body parts are always going to be higher, even if it's something like a chest day compared to a leg day. The reason is you connect better with that muscle, hence why it's better. So you are going to drive more output through there. You have a better mental connection, which is going to drive more mental output as well. So for me, I'm a perfect example when it comes to back training, right? I don't have to think about my back training, but I wake up the next day fucking smoked. Even though I might not even think I'm going that hard, and I'm going to wake up smoked because my mental connection to my back is that much stronger. My actual ability to connect to that muscle group is better. So that is one thing. Two, centering your nutrition around said weak body part. If you're in an off-season setting, making sure that you have a higher food day, or something we did this off-season that I really liked and I've started implementing with people, is that if you have a weaker body part, I'm going to give you more food in that pre and post workout window than I would any other day, because not only am I trying to fuel the training, but I'm trying to force nutrients there. I want you to earn that post workout meal. So if we are, and I'm going to drop your fats there too, because I want it to turn around and come in fast and leave fast. So if we are typically someone who in the peri workout window has 300 grams of carbs, I might push it to 400. Might be 150 pre, 50 intra, 150 post. Or it might be 100 pre, 50 intra, 200 post. More likely to be that one, just because I want to fuel the recovery. Sorry, I got a text from Sue. Next, recovery, right? Like, how are you sleeping? Those nights should be your best nights of sleep. You should actively turn around and do everything that you can to help those things to recover. So, chest, right? You train chest, let's say you train at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You should have at least 70% of your steps done for the day. Your cardio should be done already. Honestly, probably not do cardio on that day, because again, you're just trying to make sure that nutrients are shuttled to that muscle group. And then turn around and pull off the extra shit, right? Like, you're not doing junk volume by any means. Everything is intentional. Everything is stimulating. Everything, your intensity should be high as fuck. And knowing that you have that same training session again, or you have another training session for the same body part in 3 days, you have to literally be a sniper. You have to go in, hit it, annihilate it, get the fuck out. Added extra reps, added extra sets are not going to be beneficial. So making sure that you are on top of your recovery process, on top of your training, and you are intentional in your training. That's probably the day that I would suggest for most people, that if you are, however you personally focus, right? Whether it's, you lock in with music, you smoke, you got to fight with an ex-girlfriend, like whatever you got to do personally to lock the fuck in, you need to be on that next level. You need to be at your peak for performance that day. And then once you're done, as relaxed as you can get, sit in a cold room with the lights off, get your heart rate down, make sure that you're in a place where you can fully recover. So I think that that's going to be your biggest and most beneficial thing, is making sure that you are in a spot where you can not only train really hard, but you can perform better. And then again, putting your food around that workout window, optimizing things like, again, if you're, just because I follow Nate and I know that he's going into a growth phase, use insulin pre-workout, right? Try to get if it's arms, absolutely abuse them with volume. I hate when people turn around and say, like, oh, I want to do a recoverable amount of volume on a small muscle group. Get the biggest fucking pump that you can and then call it a day, especially with arms, especially with delts. Get as much blood volume as you can into there. If you're using insulin and you have high carbs and you get as much blood as you can in there, you are absolutely stretching. This is bro science. I don't give a fuck. You're stretching the muscle fascia. You will grow into it.
Mhm.
For me personally, that's why I started doing arms on leg days, because I was using Lantus on those days. So I was having more carbs and I was like, you know what? I want my arms to get bigger. And I was only doing biceps on those days. My biceps are already a strong body part and they've only gotten better. Now I'm doing triceps. I'm no longer using insulin, but my food is a little bit higher on that day. So now I want to turn around. I want my triceps to come up, or at least stay the same size, because I am in prep.
Yep.
All right. Going into the next question. This one's just a really quick one. So I'll go 2 for 2. Has a judge ever said anything about your tattoos? Do you think they affect your look on stage? No, judges have only told me my legs were small. I have no tattoos on my legs.
As someone of, again, I can't speak for someone of color because I'm white as fuck. But again, if you're of color if you're black and you have dark tattoos. Doesn't really take away from your look. When you're white, yeah, it could have an effect, depending on where they're placed. Again, I have a forearm tattoo, does fuck all of me. I have a testosterone molecule on my thigh. It does nothing for me. But if you have like full sleeves, if you have, a chest piece, if you have a back piece, sure, it can take away from just some detail. But again, I wouldn't worry about it until you really get to that like upper echelon, because more than likely, especially at a regional level, it's not really going to affect you. As long as you show up conditioned, that's like the hardest thing it is when it comes to a regional show. No one fucking shows up conditioned at all. Um, or it's like one of the rare things that happen. And then when you actually get to the upper echelon of like possibly turning pro, yeah, I mean, getting the feedback from the judges is for the sake of, where do you stand? Sure, you can definitely ask them, but it's also the point of like, are you going to get a full chest piece removed for the sake of bodybuilding? No, you're not. You just spent thousands of dollars on it. You're not going to do it. But again, you can only work with what you're given. And if you decide to get into bodybuilding after you get a bunch of pieces done, then I mean, that's just the way of the world. And the only answer to that is the answer in which that specific judge gives you, because hypothetically speaking, Tyler Mannion, yeah, he could fucking hate him. He says it completely destroys your physique, but Bill Sibilia goes, hey, it's fine. It doesn't affect you whatsoever. Again, as objective as bodybuilding is, so is the sake of, does the tattoo take away from the body? So it's person to person, it's judge to judge. You can get the immediate response from them post show. But again, it's not something that I would just, hang your hat on and say, fuck it, I'm not going to compete because I have tattoos. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. I think that's a non-factor. I mean, maybe I'm biased
Yeah.
because half of my body is tattooed. But I think it's a non-factor. And honestly, I think if they're well placed and they're strategic, they almost add to the physique. Like my rib tattoo adds to the silhouette of how my lat comes off of my rib cage because it's slightly darker and it goes dark all the way into the insertion of my lat. So it makes my left lat almost jut out more, where I know my left lat is smaller than my right.
Hmm.
It's like it's such a nuanced thing, but even in like the teacup pose, where my lat comes out to, there's a dark spot and then the lat finishes around it. So it could almost be beneficial. I'm not saying to do that, but I have even seen some people who got like, how Rich Piana had like the outline of his abs pretty much? Like he
Yeah.
had his obliques done.
Uh-huh.
It made his waist look smaller. Now, if he stood
Yeah.
on stage and hit a quarter turn, you can't see shit.
Yeah.
But still, it's one of those things that like it could be beneficial. It depends on who it is.
Yeah.
Um, all right, so next question. And I had to ask for further explanation of this because of who it is, of course. Um, Opinions on one step back, two steps forward mentality. In other words, do you find it beneficial to do a mini cut in the middle of an off season if you're for resetting appetite and digestion purposes?
Um, I mean, for that purpose, I mean, if digestion is just dog shit, yeah, I definitely think so. Because again, if you can't digest, you're not absorbing it, and you're kind of just wasting time and energy pushing food for what? You're not really going to get much out of the growth phase if you can't digest the food properly, if it's just running through you. Appetite wise, again, people have small appetites, some people have big appetites. Inevitably, there are things in this world that you can utilize for the sake of just getting food down. But appetite, I would say, is hit or miss, but digestion, yeah. I mean, ever since this bullshit I dealt with a couple months ago, I take full consideration about my digestion now, where it's, the first thing on my mind. Because if I can't digest shit, I'm not absorbing it properly, and all that food is just going to waste.
Yeah.
But yeah, appetite, no. I'm just gonna say it, appetite, no. But digestion, if digestion goes array, yeah, I would absolutely cut the off season short and go on a little diet.
He didn't say cut it short. That was the thing. He didn't mention that part.
I was just in the
Um,
middle of an off season.
yeah, he like
Oh,
it almost sounded pre-planned when he said it. I'm gonna say
oh,
it like this: needs must, bro. If you are in a position where you can no longer eat your amount of food, You got a little soft in the midsection. Um, your digestion is shit. Yeah, that's a good time to have less food. Does that mean, oh no, I have to turn around and go into a mini cut? No, it means you need to have less food. If you're going to have less food, you might as well turn around and take advantage of that and burn a little fat off,
Yeah.
right? Like that's just a simple thing. Now, for the fact of you cannot push on for 48 weeks straight because there's going to be a law of diminishing returns once you get over about 15% body fat, 12% as an enhanced bodybuilder, then maybe just maybe it makes a lot of sense. To which I'm going to now refer to the true answer: trust your coach.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I was
Your
gonna
coach is
say,
telling you to turn around and it's time to do a mini cut. Don't start second guessing if you should do a mini cut. Probably the right move.
yeah. I mean, two things. One, I didn't say shit about the because I was gonna say something about the sake of getting softer, but I figure it's doing digestion and appetite. But yeah, if you're getting too fat, fucking of course start dieting. But two, if you follow your coach's plan tenfold, when he tells you to get an off plan, that's whatever. Let's say a burger and fry. You do it when he says to do it. You're following his plan exactly, and you still get too fat in the off season, and you follow his plan 100% of the time, and you did not fuck off once. Get a new coach because he is just leading you down a road of bullshit. Because I'm sorry, if your coach is giving you a plan that's getting you too fat, that's an issue. Then your coach doesn't know what he's doing, and he's feeding you way too much food. Like there's pushing the envelope, and then there's just pushing too much food to the point in which that you are just driving insulin resistance and fat gain to the point of like, oh shit, yeah, you got pretty fucking hefty. Time to cut. It's like
Shout out to
again,
Venezuelan Hobbit.
I mean that's the biggest thing. But again, pick a coach you trust, pick a coach that you love, and then kind of go from there. But inevitably, if they, lead you down a path of bullshit, it's time to start looking for something else or just do it on your own.
That seems to be the trend nowadays, huh? Everyone's just doing their own preps. Everyone's just
Listen, I can
pushing themselves.
respect I can respect those who self-coach who know what they're doing, but when people self-coach and have absolutely no idea what these substances do to the body, what time to deploy, how to deploy, how much to use, where even mostly where to get them. What the fuck are we doing here? It's like you're not what are we doing? Walking around the gym asking every fucking gym guy there, hey, where can I get my mass? Where can I get some primo? Where can I get some Trent? Like,
I'll tell you the God's honest truth. They're asking on podcasts. They're asking
what do
whenever there's a question box up for a podcast because I've gotten probably 30 of them. Yo, where are you getting your mask? Bro, I'm not.
it's just
I'm
like
paying for a
I
expensive ass test probe.
I just, I don't know. I get it. Like Austin. Austin Espy, he's no longer at Will Sage. He's doing his own prep. He looks fantastic.
Will Sage, he's no longer with Cam Cheek. He's no longer with Boss of Outlaw. And everyone
That's
else
my
is.
point is, Dick, that he knows what he's doing. He's a coach himself. Again, am I going to say he's like a top level coach? No, he's a higher level coach. He has a great idea of pharmacology. So, like, he knows what this stuff does to your body. Whereas, someone I know has no idea and they do it on their own.
Call him
And
out.
they're hoping
Fuck
for the
it.
best. No, it doesn't even matter. But it's just like, again, even for those who, might say they know and then they just kind of throw shit at the wall and hope it sticks. It's like the blind are leading the blind. And it's pretty fucking stupid.
Oh, real quick before I forget, like, comment, share,
Like, comment, share,
subscribe,
subscribe.
hype the video, all that fun shit. Um, you got a question? Oh, let me
Nothing
turn the mic
that's
on.
entertainment to the actual podcast.
All right. So let me get into where the fuck did they go? I hate when they disappear.
Yeah.
All right. This is a fun one. I'm gonna make this a two-part. First and foremost, do you do cardio on leg days? And second, do you ever find yourself singing during cardio? I'm gonna switch
In
that. Do you ever find yourself singing during training?
Yes. And yes. Well, in prep, I'll do cardio on leg day. It's the UK way. They fucking do cardio every single day.
Explains a lot.
What does that mean? My legs stay.
The guys in the UK's don't. I'm not talking about recent events. I'm talking about a lot of guys there.
I know. I mean, again, for me, it's like, I'll go pretty hard on my cardio, but I will say on my leg days, I know it's a burial session. We all know I get the coffin ready for my leg session. So it's like, I'll do my cardio on my training days, but it's like I fucking do not go nearly as hard in cardio, I will say.
I don't do cardio on leg days because I'll lose my legs. I actually just got told to decrease the intensity of my cardio.
You still do our trainer?
Yes.
Okay, good.
But I was doing 120 to 140 beats per minute. And I just got told to go down to 115 to 120 because I was averaging a 136 because my ass likes to work hard.
Oh man, it's gonna be toasting.
Yeah, it was the hardest cardio I ever did yesterday, actually.
I will say like lower heart rate cardio is low key harder.
Yeah, because you're bored as fuck.
Yeah.
Like the entire time, you're just bored.
Yeah.
Um, but do I find myself singing during cardio? No, because I listen to podcasts or I'm in Dom Kuza's school during cardio. I don't. I take that as an opportunity to learn something. I refuse to take that as an opportunity to just listen to music. I listen to music all day long. Even when I'm in my office, you might be able to hear in the background. Probably not because this mic's pretty solid, but um, there's music playing all day long over my head. I don't want to listen to music while I do cardio. I want to listen to a podcast or I want to listen to absolutely nothing. Be a psychopath and just stare out into the water. For those who don't know, I live on the water. My cardio machine faces the canal, so I pretty much can watch the sunrise around me. Not really see the sun, but like, yeah.
Nice.
Um, do I find myself singing during training? Absolutely. Um, I am the weirdest motherfucker when it comes to training, specifically legs. There's something wrong with me. Um, because not only will I sing like Adele, but I'll start giggling before sets. Like if I know this is about to be a
Freak.
fucking death set, I'm going to start laughing because like I know how horrible this is gonna feel, and I love that shit. Like going into it, I'm like, oh, this is gonna fucking suck, and just start laughing. Like guys around me have sat there and been like, yo, what the fuck is good with you? It's just what I like to do. Um, Now, when you got an absolute banger of an 80s power ballad on, a little hair, somebody just dropped a lot of shit. You got some hair rock on, right? Maybe you got a little Misery Business by Paramore. Maybe you got a little Whitney Houston. I have nothing. She's fucking belting that motherfucker. Yeah, man. I'm getting active. Y'all gonna hear these vocals. Trust. Please trust. I also don't wear headphones, so it's not like it's not a song that you're also hearing over the speaker. Um, I can't wear headphones. I own the gym. So therefore I control the music. So yeah. But like genuinely, I love a good I hear somebody turn around and start humming some shit. I'm like, yo, you better sing that shit with your whole chest. Because like this shit's supposed to be fun. How many
Yeah.
places can you go that's not your car that you could actively like, even if you were the worst thing in the world, belt some shit out, right? Like right before you're about to fucking kill yourself in a set, or like right after. Like that's fun to me.
Yeah.
To a degree, the gym is where you express yourself. That's where you find your truest self. Because like they say, fatigue makes cowards of us all. No, fatigue just shows the truth. You need to see who the fuck you are when you're tired. You need to see who you are when you can't walk anymore. So that's my opinion on there. Jesus Christ. I will send you that right when we're done here. That was wild. I got one more thing before we sign out. All right, ready? Fun one. Fuck Mary Kill. Ice cream cookies brownie.
Mary cookie, fuck brownies, kill ice cream.
Wow, that's wild, cousin Creamy. That is
Cookies have my heart
wild.
to the day that I fucking die. Listen, I can go all prep. I can go an entire fucking prep, and I'm good. You waste some fucking cookies in my face, I'm gonna turn into a little fucking demon. I love cookies.
All right. Mine would be fuck ice cream, kill brownies, and I'm marrying cookies not because I like cookies the most, but because I'm lactose intolerant. So I just don't want to deal with that when it comes to ice cream. I'd rather the ice cream. So if it's like a Ninja Creamy with like extra other bullshit to like match the calorie load of like a Ben and Jerry's, fuck yeah. Like that's a go. But like I need lactose free ice cream and that shit sucks.
Yeah, lactate, you shit.
Yeah, I don't love lactate. It makes me still feel pretty shitty. So if
Yeah,
that's the case, then I'm saying if I could say no lactose problems, marry ice cream, fuck brown or yeah, kill brownies, fuck cookies.
love
Um
that.
yeah, but cookies are married because of lactose issues. So
Fair enough.
yeah. Ice cream is gas, bro. I don't know how you can turn around and say that. Like, first and foremost, have you had a chip witch?
All right.
Like now you got the
I'm
best
more.
of both worlds. You would rather
I'm
have a
more of
fucking
a.
brookie?
I'm more. Brookies are fire. I'm
Brookies
more
are
of a.
wild.
I'm more of a fucking Choco Taco type of person.
Heater. Heater. The fact that those don't exist anymore, tragic.
It is such a tragic.
Yo, have you had a heavyweight bar?
Yep.
Are they actually good? I
Yep.
guess we should save that for after if you didn't think they were good. But I feel like they're a lot.
They are. They're fantastic.
You ate the whole thing?
Yep.
Fucking fat Gorgo motherfucker.
Yep.
What flavor was it?
Want me to take a bite for you right now? I got one in my freezer.
We don't have time unless you brag. Wait, wait, get the book. All right, yo, with that, we're signing out. Peace. Thank you. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun shit. Yeah.